the best we've ever looked.
I know. We're diverse.
Particularly like that. Particularly like that purple.
Hey, for those that are still at home, we're sorry for the interruption in the meeting. We did have a water leak in the library that did put the electrical panels over there at risk. That situation is stable, and we're back in the City Hall side. So we'll continue with this meeting. We were discussing an ordinance to allow the city to participate in the Virginia Company VML investment pool. I think we've had a series of questions here that at least makes several of us comfortable. Is there any other questions before we move forward to adoption of an ordinance? Okay. And then is there a motion to move forward on
Mr. Mayor, I
this?
move that we adopt an ordinance to authorize participation by the city of Poquoson in the VACO VML Virginia Investment Pool Trust Fund for the purpose of investing in accordance with section 2.2-4501 of the Code of Virginia.
Second.
A motion made and seconded that we allow this type of investment of the city's funds. Questions or comments?
I just wanted to comment that I checked with Wayne, and at the top of page 2, it names Steve, the treasurer of Poquoson, and I wasn't sure whether it was smart to actually name him because it might,
That's right.
you know, but Wayne, your response was that it's perfectly fine to leave that there.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, Judy, please.
Would you like to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Ray, you okay with that?
Yes, that's fine.
I agree.
Councilwoman Crawford,
Aye.
Councilman Southall,
Aye.
Councilman Bernal,
Aye.
Councilman Green,
Aye.
Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, thank you very much. And the next one is Steve again, and this is an ordinance amending Chapter 74, Section 3 of the City Code pertaining to the application of penalties. It's like to give us a high level. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a nice travel back.
Good evening again, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. This item I want to bring to your attention here is Chapter 74, Section 3 of the City Code. The part of the code details the application of penalty and interest in relation to delinquent tax payments. I'm not going to speak of any changes to the current structure of interest, but about the application of the penalty. As the code currently reads, penalty is applied at the rate of 10% or a minimum of $10, with the exception that the penalty may not exceed the tax. In summary, if a tax item is less than $10, the penalty will be equal to the tax. If the tax item is between $10 and $100, the penalty will be $10. If the tax item is over $100, it'll be 10%. The penalty doesn't change. It doesn't matter if you're a day late, a week late, a month late. It's the same penalty structure. What I'm asking you to consider is to create a tier in the penalty, specifically a flat percentage of the rate that would apply should a payment be received late, but still within the same month that the tax was originally due. Subsequently, on the first day of the following month, the penalty will go back to what it is originally stated now. With the passing of each tax deadline, our office sees people who have made honest mistakes, had a family emergency pop up, or simply forgotten and missed the deadline. The tax code is explicit and limited in exceptions for a penalty. Exceptions exist for service members who are serving overseas at the time of the due date, a death on the due date, or being hospitalized on the due date. So there's not a lot of flexibility there. For reference, I've picked 3 transactions, all of these from June 6th. These are people that came in the day immediately after the deadline. Taxpayer 1 came in at 8:35 in the morning. He had 8 items totaling $512.72. Person paid $81.50 in penalty in addition to the tax. That's an effective rate of about 15%. Taxpayer 2 came in around lunchtime. 14 items of personal property. Now remember that the penalty applies to each item, not the tax bill. So the 14 items made up a total of $254 in tax. He paid $100 in penalties. Taxpayer 3 also came in around lunchtime. 3 items of personal property, plus his house payment. $1,800 in taxes, $195 in penalties. I don't know if any of you have received any phone calls from those who have had, unfortunately, missed the deadline. But we have, and there's a lot of frustration. I think this would be a good customer service initiative. It would certainly provide some relief to taxpayers who have made honest mistakes. And it would even make working in our office a little less stressful.
So with the changes that you're prescribing, let's take taxpayer 1. What would they have paid?
Taxpayer 1 with $512 in penalties would have paid about $10 instead of $80.
And then had it gone 30 days, it would have gone back to the
Then
original.
it would, if he still hadn't paid by July 1st, then it would go to the 81.
Okay.
Plus interest would also.
And the second one, which was pretty absorbent, right, when you
The
think.
second one, $250 in tax, he would have paid about $5 instead of $100.
Yeah. I think that's, I think it's well thought out, and I appreciate you bringing that to us.
That's good.
Okay, I really do. I think it's a good sign. Of course, it'll probably offset all the earnings that you're going to get.
Yeah, some of those earnings to cover the difference.
But as long as your stress level in the office is better, then we'll be good. All right, so thank you for bringing this to us. Is anybody on council prepared to make a motion on this ordinance?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Poquoson, Virginia by amending Chapter 74, Section 3 pertaining to the application of penalties.
You want to do this on the first?
It's on the back.
It's already in there.
Already in there, okay?
Then second.
Okay. Okay, motion made and seconded that we approve this ordinance, making adjustments and penalties, and I think it will be well received by council. Any questions or comments?
I'd like to comment. I'd like to thank Steve for his thought on this. It's a great advantage to the taxpayers who do make honest mistakes, and it shows that the city cares about those people and that we're not interested in charging them undue sums. Taxes have to be paid, but we try to be reasonable with it. So thank you, Steve, for thinking of this.
Anybody else? Not, Judy, please.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Vernal.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, comments to the city manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I only have two. You mentioned it earlier, but it's worth mentioning again. On days like today, when it rains all day long, there's opportunities for rain flooding throughout the city, and plenty of our neighbors have seen that, including our interstate highway system. And when it rains like this, whenever I get a moment, I drive throughout the city just to see how the whole drainage network is performing. And it is a very common occurrence to see one of our public works folks stop with a rake or hoe in his hand, clearing an inlet or drop inlet, clearing debris, moving something out of the road that's creating a bit of a dam. Our folks work throughout the event, not just before, to make sure that we experience this as a community just as well as it can be experienced. And I know you commended them earlier, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to commend them again. Because when everybody else would just as soon be inside, they're outside with a hoe in their hand, making sure that we're not getting flooded, and I appreciate that. The only other thing I have, thanks to the Public Works Department and their ice bucket challenge of me, if anybody's interested in seeing someone dump a bucket of ice on my head, please join us at the Public Works compound at 4 o'clock on Friday. If there are any council members that would like to stand next to me so they can participate, know that you are welcome.
Can we bring an extra bucket?
I don't see one now.
All right.
That's all I have, sir.
Thank you very much. Councilman Bernal.
I was asked a question the other day regarding garbage. I think it probably occurred because of the holiday and maybe there was a substitute driver, I'm not sure. But the issue that happened was the truck came by, picked up cans, but a couple people had the green bags out there and they were still left. Now, are the trucks supposed to pick up the green bags, or is someone else picking those up, or how does that go down? A fellow come running down the street with a green bag in his hand because he didn't pick it up. And it happened to be a neighbor, so.
I believe the truck is supposed to pick them up, and if that didn't happen, I hope they'll let us know at Public Works and we'll take care of it.
I think there's a smaller truck that comes around and picks up the bags. Because we had that question one time before.
There's a second chase truck that comes around and picks up the bags.
Yeah.
But thank you for mentioning that.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know, and I couldn't answer the fellow, or are they supposed to or not? I said, I don't know, but I'll.
If anyone does have a question about what's going on with trash, particularly on trash day at their home, also recycling day, I encourage them to call the Public Works Department that day. If they think they got missed, chances are, we can take care of that issue that day.
Okay.
And certainly, we did have an incident, not too long, incidents where a portion of a route on the recycling route got missed. They thought they had done it. They cleared the city thinking that they had done it. And we didn't find out about that until the next day. We've now put in procedures so that there'll be pickups the following morning.
Okay.
So if people will let us know as things are happening, we can do our best to resolve it that day, and if not, get it done that day, very quickly thereafter, and then fix our SOPs so whatever problem it was, hopefully won't reoccur.
I think, just to kind of clarify that, and we highly praise our Public Works Department, just for the roads that we just talked about. You're going to get the same level of service when you call down there with your concern on trash or recycling. So they're a great department, and I can't say enough about them.
Yeah. This was Labor Day, and I think it was a different driver, and it came at a totally different time, and I thought perhaps someone didn't have the full picture of what was going on. Might be wrong.
Councilman Green?
Just a couple of things, Mr. Mayor. Last Thursday, I attended the elected official day at the Peninsula Food Bank, where we pack backpacks. This time it was for senior citizens, and Congressman Bobby Scott, the Vice Mayor from Hampton, Linda Curtis, myself, and let's see, there was one other person.
It was all day. I showed up after you,
It
and
was
there was a
9,
rotation.
yeah, it was all day. Mine was 9 to 1, and we were well attended, and everybody appreciated the fact that we were there. Took a nice tour of the organization. Also like to thank Emmaus Church and the City Council for hosting last month's food bank. We served 197 people.
Wow.
And ran out of food about 11:30.
Okay. Bud?
Just one comment. I had a phone call from Vice Mayor Freeman tonight, who asked me to make certain that I passed on his and his wife's sincere thanks to the Poquoson Fire, Police, and EMS departments for their support and accommodation. Said that they really supported them well, and both he and his wife, and he wanted to give his and her sincere thanks for their efforts.
Grace?
I wanted to remind people that the DMV to go is supposed to be in the parking lot tomorrow, so they can handle things that our DMV Select cannot. And I wanted to warn people down near my end of the city that the Poquoson Museum property is going to be used on the 13th and 14th for the campfires and home fires event, where they will have artillery, infantry, and cavalry demonstrations. So those of you who live nearby, there will be some booms, but hopefully they'll be tempered a little bit this year. And I encourage you to go. And you know what, we didn't mention the museum, the garden, the Master Gardeners has been really impressive to see. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to swing by that and see it.
Okay. I'll go with all of those comments this evening. I don't have anything additional, but the Master Gardener thing is something that everybody needs to see. We'll be challenging them, and I'll talk a little bit about that the next council meeting, but I think we're going to challenge the Master Gardeners a little bit and be briefing council on with Creek Road and where we need to head on that. But we'll save that for another council meeting when we're not broken into two slices like we were tonight, so that everybody gets that thing. So I think that's everything. No closed session this evening, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, we adjourn. Judy, please.
Councilman Southall,
Aye.
Councilman Bernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
The motion carried by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, thank you very much. We are adjourned.